Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Naruto Shippuden. Please don't spoil yourself of the awesome that will be covered today. I still haven't come up with a name for this Kekkei Genkai, by the way. I guess in English it would be like Siphon Release or something similar. Like the Sharingan, if it had a name in Japanese, it might just sound cooler. Never gave it that much thought though, to be honest. I want to give a reminder this week to what my version of Sakura has different from canon Sakura. During the Chunin exams, she uses for the first time a Kekkei Genkai that allows her to transfer chakra in either direction. She has since learned to control this power, but not for offensive or defensive purposes. Instead, it is for utility, a way to accentuate her exceptional chakra control. My version has already become a jonin for her efforts helping the Sand Shinobi during the first arc of Shippuden. As reward for her promotion, Tsunade gave her a collection of chakra kunai. Her Byakugo seal, the diamond on her forehead, has been finished since the time skip, but she hasn't seen occasion to release it. And she wears her headband on her forehead to hide that she has it. In other words, it has built up far more chakra than in canon. Now to the recap. Last time we dealt with Sakura's little chakra problem. She had some fox chakra in her that was corrupting her ability to heal. Instead of going to Tsunade, she resolved to correct it herself. This led to asking fellow ninja for help and eventually involving Naruto. As a consequence, Naruto would end up transforming temporarily. It also taught Sakura several valuable lessons about stubbornness and how different chakras interact. You know, this has gone way beyond the scope of what I initially intended. However, I still want to make it clear that I want both the start and end of all of these arcs to remain the same as in canon, so the in-between is the only place I can shine. Before I get into Pain vs. Konoha, I want to touch first on some of Sasuke's actions. Like I said last week, the Itachi pursuit arc from the perspective of the Leaf Ninja is weird. They do some modest scouting until they're stopped by Toby, and we don't really see any action there. They attack one at a time and are just constantly stunned that nothing hits Toby. It's kind of lackluster and boring, and I couldn't change that narrative without them being able to involve with Sasuke's fight, and that would have thrown a huge wrench in the works. I could have included some interaction with Deidara's fight, but again, I thought, why complicate things? When Sasuke and Suigetsu are heading to the hideout Karin's at, Suigetsu asks why Karin. All I've ever wanted is a single panel of Sasuke picturing Sakura before answering with, I need her. Personality-wise, I've always seen Karin as a hardcore version of Sakura. She's way more showy with her feelings for Sasuke, and she's way more violent when punishing Suigetsu's antics. The way I've set up Sakura's abilities also mirrors the two very closely on that front as well. I think the only huge difference is that Sakura is not a sensory type. As I've said in previous videos, Sakura's Kekkei Genkai isn't meant to be some game-breaking weapon. It's a utility to complement her chakra control and later chakra demands. A comment also reminded me about the extreme power leap that we see after the Kage Summit. Sasuke goes from being dangerous to being one of the most powerful ninja for no conceivable reason. I think Kishimoto ramped up people's abilities a tad too much and a tad too fast. So Sakura's Kekkei Genkai would be a bridge for that gap. Also, the amount of chakra one can store in their Byakugo seal is unfathomable. We're talking on the level of tailed beasts. And I feel like that wasn't illustrated well in canon. So the Pain vs. Konoha arc opens with news of Jiraiya's death. It's pretty ambiguous how long they've had to relax here between the defeat of Kakuzu and Hidan to now. Timelines are crazy all over the place in this story actually. Gamakichi is tiny enough to stand on Chief Toad's head in this arc. Meanwhile, in the 4th Ninja War, Naruto summons Gamakichi and he's practically the same size as Chief Toad. But based on Naruto's age, it can't have been more than a year. Okay, before my brain implodes on the time warp going on, let's refocus. Before canon opens up with Kakashi retrieving Naruto, I'm going to have a moment with Sakura in the woods. She's reflecting on how the fox's chakra reacted with her chakra. It acted like oil and water, refusing to mix with hers. Additionally, it wholly corrupted how her chakra formed when she tried medical ninjutsu. If you've ever wondered what nature releases Sakura has, it's earth and water. In a novel later on, she's also shown to have fire nature. While I'm not taking the events of that novel into consideration for this rewrite, I'll let you all know now that my Sakura also has the fire nature. Furthermore, medical ninjutsu is a yang-release ninjutsu. Yin and yang aren't really explored too much in Naruto. However, yin release uses spiritual energy to create form. Yang release uses physical energy to control vitality and augment life. The Sage of Six Paths used a combination yin-yang release to create the tailed beasts. Class session over. Back to Sakura. Inspired by Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, Sakura is now thinking about if she can make something of her own creation. In the time since Kakuzu and Hidan were defeated, Sakura has been experimenting both with how her chakra natures interact, as well as what she could form with that interaction. Similar to Kakashi's Raikiri, she has learned how to create her own elements in her hand, except not so far as to weaponize them, only give form. An Anbu appears beside her while she's focusing on the fire currently in her hand, and tells her Tsunade has summoned her. Upon return to Tsunade's office, she learns of Jiraiya's death alongside Sai and Naruto. Just as in canon, she defends Tsunade when Naruto lashes out and nearly kicks Shikamaru when he tries to laze out of decoding Jiraiya's message. In canon here, she vanishes for a time. Quite some time. She is eventually seen helping Shikamaru decode the message right before the attack. I want to emphasize, she vanishes from existence for several chapters in a row. It's nuts. However, in my version, after Naruto leaves, Sakura waits for the meeting to end before going to find him. She eventually finds him going into his home, and though she calls out to him, he closes the door as if he didn't hear her. Stubborn, she knocks on his door several times, calling for him to answer. She tells him she'll stay there all day if she has to, he might as well come to the door and get it over with. The door cracks open, and he asks what she needs. She tells him that though he's been alone for his whole life, they're all there for him now. She's never experienced loss as he has, and can only offer her sympathies. Naruto leaves the door open for her and disappears into the darkness of his home. Sakura follows after, and frankly unsure how to better his mood, she asks a distracting question. How do you combine the form and nature of chakra, she asks, referring to his Rasen Shuriken. He looks up at her for a moment before losing the light in his eyes again and rolling away on his bed, replying with an, I don't know. She tells him she'll return tomorrow to see how he's doing, but he doesn't answer. Worried that she's only made him worse, Sakura thinks she needs to stay out of the way until he feels at least a little bit better. Sakura thought she'd have the correct words in her head to soothe Naruto, but when she sat down with him, she realized it was beyond her scope. Despite the various threats the village has faced over the years, her family has somehow managed to avoid every tragedy. In a way, she's the luckiest person in the village for not having any loss. She knows Sasuke's lost his family, and now Naruto is losing the few he's grown close to. Even Kakashi, she knows, has friends and family that have all passed away. It's a bit of a shock, too, that now both Jiraiya and Orochimaru are dead. For Sakura, who only really knows Tsunade, the three are all the same incredible famous ninja for their actions in the Third Ninja War. That they could be taken down really grounds Sakura in what she's capable of. She next goes to Tsunade to ask about chakra natures. The big curiosity for Sakura is how someone could mix chakra natures like water and fire. Tsunade tells her that what she's suggesting is of the highest order of difficulty. Only the greatest ninja can combine two elements into a new one, let alone to then give that new element form. She likens even the Rasen Shuriken to being a step below in terms of difficulty. If Sakura were asking about one element, that would be a different story. 2 elements is a very big expectation. After seeing Naruto transform his already powerful Rasengan into an even more powerful form, Sakura's committed herself to following after. Tsunade tells her that she's free to try, but that it'll take a level of training that doesn't compare to anything previous. She also reminds her that it takes some people their whole lives to unlock such a technique. Not dissuaded, she returns to the woods for further experimenting. She's inspired by Naruto training via clone manipulation, but knowing the difference in chakra reserves only creates one clone. I think it's kind of silly how Naruto has this phenomenal trick with shadow clones that no one else ever tries to cash in on. Sakura knows her own limits, so she's not going to push herself beyond anything dangerous. She trains on her own for several days, only returning to Tsunade's side when summoned. When she learns that Naruto's been taken for sage training, she worries that he's going to surpass her again, and she creates a second clone to further her efforts. The first thing she sets to doing is combining fire and water. She thinks this will be the greatest hurdle in her training, so she sets to accomplishing that first. She thinks the form of steam will come with this combination. She also thinks she's going about this all wrong. While one clone focuses on how both elements could interact, another focuses on giving each individual element form without the aid of an ninjutsu. Sakura's real self starts practicing with various elemental jutsu such as fireball jutsu, small techniques such as water spout jutsu, and perhaps a mud wall jutsu. I feel like these basic techniques wouldn't be secret information that she couldn't study. She isn't doing techniques like this to master them, but rather to study the precision required in forming them. Just like her foot on the tree in the forest of chakra, she thinks about problems entirely different from others. She wants to know exactly what form these kinds of techniques will take based on the amount of chakra invested, and even the way it's invested. If she feeds a little chakra at a time and then builds to a fuller amount, would that produce failure, or give different form to the technique? She's also using this time to refine her speed with making hand seals, and remembers that Haku was able to create jutsu with just one hand. The entire process is extremely interesting to her and important in forming what could be her own unique technique. While she doesn't have the mass clones that Naruto does, and though she's humble enough by this point to not outright admit it, she's far smarter than Naruto is. She understands the intricate underpinnings of chakra natures and how they can explosively increase one's ability. But unlike Naruto, who just likes to brute force everything, or Sasuke, the technical genius, Sakura wants something that fits her. She remembers people like Gaara and how he's able to control so much sand at once. She wonders if he's controlling each individual grain, or if it's simply part of a mass, like invisible appendages that hold onto it for him. If it is by individual grain, then surely he has greater chakra control than anyone alive. She thinks about how Zabuza was able to create so much water and wonders if that was from a source of control or chakra reserves. When she'd seen Sasuke create a fireball, he seemed to fill his lungs with everything he could muster sometimes. Surely a fireball just as great could be mustered with better control. She wonders if the form these elements take is important in relation to one another. Earth is stoic and unchanging, so how could it flow with water or radiate like fire? These are all things that Sakura takes into careful consideration during her training. She knows the next mission or call to action could be right around the corner, so unlike Naruto cutting down time by 1,000-fold, she had to make the time as efficient as humanly possible. Even her medical ninjutsu is a form itself. Could she utilize it in other ways apart from healing? A few days go by when a sudden explosion shakes the ground at her feet. It's bad timing for Sakura, tired from her training, but she quickly returns to the village, heading first to the Hokage's quarters. Upon seeing Sakura, Tsunade instantly forbids her from releasing the Byakugo seal. Sakura protests, insisting that whatever the problem is, surely their combined power would be most effective. Tsunade presses her to think of the long term. If this is an attack on the village and Tsunade uses her reserves to protect it, she'll need someone to take her place so that outside villages do not take advantage. Sakura regrettably agrees and keeps her seal locked. Unsure exactly of the threat, she leaves the office right away to aid any injured she comes across as she heads towards the closest commotion. On her way, just as in canon, she runs into the giant centipede monster. But instead of clocking it, she throws one of her chakra kunai and absorbs as much chakra as she can from it before forcing its summons undone. As she runs amongst the building rubble, she hears clashing weapons and turns in its direction. She stays hidden to see Kakashi heading off against one of the Akatsuki. Though one part of her tells her to move on to heal others, she can't very well abandon her teacher. Sakura watches as Tendo Pain uses his power to push and pull Kakashi, overpowering everything he can do in retaliation. It only takes watching the power's activation a couple times for Sakura to spot the opening. Immediately after Pain blasts Kakashi into rubble, a kunai lands in the ground behind him and Sakura jumps overhead. Her Kekkei Genkai connects to Pain, but instead of pulling chakra from him, like a magnet, she accidentally attaches to one of his chakra receivers and pulls it out of him. This is an unexpected result from both combatants, as Sakura lands next to Kakashi as he climbs out of the debris. As the receiver pulls out of Pain's leg, it disrupts the connection to that limb, and he nearly falls over before regaining his composure. Kakashi tells Sakura to run, but she's already too focused on the black stick that came out of Pain. She tells Kakashi that she'll back him up. They need to keep pushing for information. Pulling out several normal and special kunai, Sakura throws them in random order at Pain, who dodges and deflects, refusing to use his power. For each special kunai, she attaches her Kekkei Genkai, and when Pain stops a receiver from being pulled, he loses a bit of chakra instead. At this point, he's almost looking past Kakashi at Sakura for how annoying she's being. When Asura Pain arrives to aid, Sakura turns her attention to it instead, turning the fight into a 2v2. A missile pops out of Asura Pain and launches seemingly directionless as it strikes the corner of a nearby building. A second later, Sakura evaporates and her real self lands on the ground. Of course, her genjutsu wouldn't be advanced enough to trick someone this strong. Throwing several clones ahead of herself, she runs towards Asura even as it brandishes its razor-sharp tail. It thrusts forward, taking out a couple clones. Its stance is not unlike Sasure's. One clone dashes to the side and throws several shuriken, and as it raises its tail to deflect the flimsy attack, main Sakura gets close enough. Her fist lands squarely under its chin, and she entirely decapitates it. The body doesn't fall right away, and with such proximity to it, she puts hands on it and pulls as much chakra as she can. Kakashi yells for Sakura to move as Choji's hand grabs her out of the way and Choza's gigantic fist crushes what's left of Asura. Even while Choji is moving her through the air, she looks back at Tendo Pain, reaching towards him and activating her Kekkei Genkai. With her chakra blades stuck in the ground around him now, she starts pulling chakra from him at multiple points, as her siphon connects to him from each individual kunai. He lifts a hand, uttering "enough," and pulls Sakura right out of Choji's hand. As she flies toward him, she barely makes enough hand signs to pull up a rudimentary rock wall between them that crumbles as soon as it rises, but causes enough distraction that Tendo can't pull out a black spear. She reaches for him and grabs his arm, but in that same fraction of time, he reverses the polarity and shoves her into the ground. Kakashi erupts from the ground behind him, but Asura Pain sees it. Though decapitated and immobilized, Asura Pain is still functional, and erases Tendo Pain's blind spots. Sakura climbs to her feet as the father-son duo come in from the sides to crush him, but the outcome is the same. Tendo Pain blasts them all away. After the dust clears and Tendo has moved on, Choji pulls himself up and mourns his dad and Kakashi. Meanwhile, he can't find Sakura anywhere. He shouts her name but gets no response. Somehow still moving, Asura Pain launches its missile at Choji and Kakashi uses what he has left to erase it for Choji to escape. When Choji gives his information to Tsunade, he relays that they backed up Kakashi and Sakura, and he's the only known survivor. Katsuyu didn't make it to Sakura before the blast, so Tsunade can't tell if she survived it. Reining in her emotions, Tsunade tells Choji to hurry back to his dad. Shinra Tensei hits the village, demolishing everything. When Naruto arrives and briefly speaks to Tsunade, he asks about Kakashi. But he also searches for Sakura, turning his back on Pain for a second, concerned that he can't find her. The Naruto vs. Pain goes as canon describes, ending with Naruto pinned. Tendo pulls out a black spear and thrusts it into Naruto's hands. Except he doesn't. Sakura's standing beside him, having caught his arm before he could follow through. "Thought you were done with me?" she asks, knocking him away with a swift kick. When Sakura was blasted away from him the first time, she crashed into a building with other survivors within. The hole she made collapsed. Unconscious at first when she woke, she had to break them free without the rubble caving in on them, so she couldn't just throw fists until success. While buried, Shinra Tensei pushed even more rubble over them and it slowed her escape. I reason that because she was in such close proximity with others, Naruto would be unable to discern her from the crowd. When she finally freed the group, she couldn't even direct them to the shelter as everything had been destroyed. Lost at first, she eventually found what she didn't want to, Kakashi's lifeless body. Laser focusing her sorrow to fury, she looked for the assailant. Attention turned to Tendo, she moved closer and closer to the explosion's epicenter, only becoming more angry. Fighting every instinct to release her Byakugo seal, Sakura yells at Naruto to get up. He already destroyed 5 of them, why is he giving up now? While she berates him for lying down and making her do all the work, she also feeds some of her chakra into him. But Tendo Pain has no time for this. Just as he did with Lord Fukasaku, Tendo pulls out another spear at the same time that he pulls Sakura towards him. She's seen this enough. Embracing her acceleration in his direction, she brandishes the only chakra kunai she has left, having lost the rest in the previous fight. She throws it at him with a second kunai beside it. He's forced to turn his spear to deflect them and even deactivates his Bancho Tenin, freeing Sakura from the magnetic force. As she's about to make contact, he's barely able to use Shinra Tensei again, forcing her into the ground. As she lies there, she activates her siphon, and as much as it hurts, she also begins pulling his chakra reserves from him. She notices immediately that he has just as much chakra as Naruto, and she's nowhere near able to pull a crippling amount from him. The chakra also doesn't feel like it's coming from him, but that it's feeding from elsewhere. Suddenly, Tendo redirects his spear and stabs her in the torso. Sakura tried to dodge but gasps at the sudden strike, grabbing the spear with one hand. Too invested in pulling chakra from him, she let her guard down and didn't have enough time to avoid the hit. But she moved just enough that he missed any vital points. As Tendo tries to pull the spear back out, he feels her holding it firm. "You think you're done with me?" she taunts again, smirking at him. Reaching forward with her other hand, she grabs his wrist. "I'm still holding back," she taunts yet again, hiding the pain. Tendo looks up from her as Naruto swoops in with a Rasengan, forcing him to release Sakura to dodge it. Relinquishing his Rasengan, Naruto turns to Sakura to make sure she's alright. She pulls the spear out herself, applying medical ninjutsu immediately. They stand together, and face pain together. Sakura's really tired now, more tired than she can ever remember being. But she needs to assist Naruto. He's still not in Sage mode, but he's back in action. She leans closer to Naruto to tell him about Tendo's chakra levels, that they felt like they were coming from somewhere else. As she opens her mouth, she notices a spear coming from their side. She pushes Naruto down and takes another stab, this time to the shoulder. On the other end, Conan stands, the spear separating into 100 pieces of bloodied paper. Sakura tries to say, "This is nothing." But now she's in a serious state of fatigue from the blood loss and can't focus her medical ninjutsu anymore. Swaying, she falls to one knee and wonders if Tsunade would okay her releasing the seal to heal herself. Naruto shouts angrily, but his voice sounds distant as Sakura feels consciousness begin to fade. Conan turns toward Naruto, but Sakura can't exit the fight with Naruto in a handicap. With as much dazed focus as she can muster, Sakura leaps towards Conan, smashing her into thousands of pieces of paper before altogether passing out herself. When she comes to, Naruto has already gone on a rampage and is still hunting down Nagato. While she was out, Hinata too came to Naruto's aid and professed her love for him, causing him to explode when pain severely injured her. Katsuyu has finally come to Sakura's aid, staunching the bleeding for her. Katsuyu relays the details while Sakura gets her bearings. Lady Tsunade has fallen unconscious due to overuse of chakra, and Sakura goes to her aid immediately. When she sees Tsunade has become so weak that her transformation has undone, Sakura immediately lends what little chakra she has. About to release her Byakugo seal, Shizune reprimands her. The last promise she made to Lady Tsunade was to refrain from using it. She can't sully that promise now. She needs to honor Tsunade's wishes. Feeling helpless, Sakura sits by Tsunade's side. When Naruto returns to the village, there's no Sakura to greet him. Instead, he and Hinata can share a bashful reuniting. Later, the villagers have begun rebuilding. Sakura has since fed chakra and given medical ninjutsu to Tsunade, but she still isn't waking up. They figure she'd reached such a level of exhaustion that she just requires simple rest to wake again. Between Naruto, Hinata, and herself, never mind the countless others who took part in the fighting, they are granted a few days of rest and recover. The only person Sakura knows who used fire jutsu was Sasuke, and she thinks of how he executed it. Beyond the basic fireball jutsu, she knew Itachi could use Amaterasu, though she only saw it from a distance and just once. She asks Kakashi for a better description, leaving him confused. He tells her that it's part of the Uchiha Dojutsu, it's not something she can replicate. He goes on to say that even if she's looking to seal it, it's too unknown and therefore unlikely that she'd figure it out. She tells him that's got nothing to do with it. She was more interested in things like how water can't snuff it out, how it manages to continually burn, what kind of form it takes. Does it act like normal fire? He tells her that each Mangekyo has its unique dojutsu, so even his knowledge of it is limited. Though he asks if she's interested in any other aspects of the Sharingan, she declines, saying that she's done the research already. She asks him if there's a jutsu that exists that can counter something like the Yamaterasu, and Kakashi says probably not. Food for thought, she returns to her training. While everyone eats to replenish or rests for their wounds, Sakura is out all night in the woods, continuing her training. I just gotta say, I hate the naming scheme of the village hidden in the clouds. I always get them mixed up, except for Darui. Karui and Omoi get into a bit of a scuffle with Naruto Sai and Sakura. Naruto exhibits some pretty impressive techniques here, but in canon, Sakura just gets kicked away. In my version, Omoi kicks an illusion of her, allowing her to get the drop on him instead. I also wanted to clarify genjutsu types with Sakura. We see characters like the Toad Sages use a sound-styled genjutsu. Meanwhile, you get optical genjutsu from the Uchiha. It stands to reason that you could even evoke genjutsu from scent or even touch. Kurenai doesn't seem to use any of these. She just seems to apply a hand seal and genjutsu is made. So I didn't really develop Sakura's use of genjutsu too much because of this. It would probably be better for her to have a themed genjutsu style, but Kurenai was who taught her in my fanfiction, so I'll stick with the simple method for now. I would probably argue that the simpler the method, the worse the genjutsu. But Sakura becomes practically immune to genjutsu in the future, so I'm sort of banking on that, bringing her genjutsu prowess full circle. Her surprise strike throws Omoi into the cliffside, and outnumbered and outflanked, Karui is forced to retreat and regroup with him. When they've collected themselves for another clash, Naruto holds up a hand and tells them to stop. This is a very small change, and I don't want to take away from Omoi or Karui, but in my version of events, Naruto and Sakura were one of very few to stand against pain and survive. These two are nearly a level above. Later, when Karui is interrogating Naruto, not just Sai, but Sakura as well has followed them. Naruto getting beat up is not in keeping with what he wants. He wants to fight for collective peace, so he lets people take their anger out on him. The narrative here seems a little lost to me. So Karui strikes Naruto just once before Sakura springs into action, stopping the assault any further. Naruto begs Sakura not to attack them. Meanwhile, Sakura asks him how violence can cure further violence. She pushes Karui away and tells her to redirect her hatred to Akatsuki. Just as they've fooled other villages, they've fooled former Leaf Ninja. They're too powerful for everyone to be fighting amongst themselves. She tells Karui that she's just wasting her energy. Despite Naruto's protests, Sakura tells the two Cloud Ninja that if they really want to relieve their stress, they can try their luck with her. Before anything further happens, Samui arrives and brings a complete halt to the argument. Just so you all know, Kakashi's Mangekyo ability is called Kamui. It's ridiculous! There's a moment later when Sai reveals that Naruto is in love with Sakura. But if I haven't made it clear already, my Sakura already knows this. She's been working more closely with Naruto than in canon, and somewhere along the lines she realizes this. It's not one of those things where you can say that at an exact moment in time she figured it out. More like, over time, it just became the obvious conclusion. The Konoha 11 meet up to discuss how to deal with Sasuke. Shikamaru comes to their tent and asks Sakura permission to take care of Sasuke to end the cycle of revenge. Her eyes snap to his, and she says to him, "No, I'll turn him or I'll take him out, not your burden." Narratively, canon Sakura is way different than my Sakura at this point in the story. They tell her Naruto's already left to plead with the Raikage, and Sakura knows that she just must follow after him. She doesn't want to stop him. She wants to beat him up for leaving her behind. When they finally catch up to Naruto, Sakura just gives him a bash on the top of his head and yells at him for leaving her behind. Just as in canon during part 1, Naruto has made the promise of a lifetime to Sakura to retrieve Sasuke. Obviously things are different now. She doesn't profess any fake love. She just yells at him. Sakura tells him that they're a team. Sasuke isn't Naruto's responsibility, he's their responsibility, Kakashi included. She reminds him that they just fought together tooth and nail against pain, and the first thing he thinks to do is head out without her? She grabs him by the collar and pulls him close. Quietly, firmly, she tells him, "I promise you, Naruto, we'll get Sasuke back. Together." She goes on to say the last time they saw Sasuke, did he not remember how close they were in skill? After amending his promise, she releases him. Maybe she punches him a few more times. This isn't what the others were expecting. Sakura had deceived the rest of them. She's not planning on killing Sasuke at all, and she's made that very clear now. But she does tell Naruto what the others are thinking to do. She also vents a little bit. She's frustrated that she can't do anything to help Tsunade out of her comatose state. The village is destroyed and she doesn't have anything in her repertoire to help expedite reconstruction. Meanwhile, Sasuke is out in the world joining the Akatsuki and attacking members of other nations. It's all come to a head, and she needs to do something useful. They're on the clock now, too. They need to get to Sasuke and show him the light before any Leaf Shinobi or any other nation can attempt to cut him down. Gaara, Kankuro, and Temari arrive to deliver information on Sasuke from the Kage Summit. Instead of their brief meeting as in canon, Gaara's group takes a few hours break here. Though they're not far at all from the Kage Summit, Gaara hasn't had much time to talk to Naruto since his life was saved, and this might be the only opportunity for a while. I understand this messes with Sasuke's timeline at the summit, as he should be dealing with Danzo in this time, and a few hours would upset that. But let's just say Toby doesn't run into Danzo right away, so the conflict is delayed. So while Naruto needles Gaara for information, Temari and Kankuro remain outside with a mishmash of other Leaf Shinobi. Kankuro goes first to Sakura and thanks her for curing the poison Sasori had given him, before going on to talk to Kiba. I think in another life Kankuro and Kiba would have gotten on quite well. Their personalities are rough. I think they would have been good friends. Temari waits quietly beside Kankuro until he moves on to Kiba, and has an awkward greeting with Sakura. After some silence, she apologizes for her past behavior in the Chunin exams. If she'd known Gaara was going to become Kazekage so fast, she would have held herself to a higher standard and not embarrassed the sand. She wavers on this excuse, eventually just admitting that she thought herself better than Sakura, and quickly became dismissive. Sakura smiles, happy to see such positive relations building within the sand. Temari also knows about this coming shinobi alliance, while Sakura doesn't. Continued conflicts will not help in the war to come. They knock fists, and let bygones be bygones. While the group enjoys a peaceful conversation, Kiba perks up. recognizing traces of Sasuke's scent in the air. He says it's faint, but can tell it's coming from the direction Gaara had come from. He can even smell Sasuke on Gaara, but didn't link it to Sasuke right away. Kakashi thinks it's a bad idea to head in the direction of the Kage Summit at the moment after Gaara has filled them in on what's happened. Even though he might be so close, they need to regroup and tackle this issue in a different way. Sakura agrees and all of them head back home, bidding the Sand siblings goodbye. A short time passes and Sakura stops on the road, apologizing to the group. Specifically, she apologizes to Naruto. She tells them that they can't just keep pushing it off. Sasuke needs to be caught now and not later. She says she really didn't mean to exclude Naruto, but she also knew she wouldn't be able to convince Kakashi otherwise. At this point, she'd rather die taking down Sasuke than let him roam free anymore. And with that, she goes up in a puff of smoke, and her shadow clone disperses. Kakashi can't believe he didn't spot the clone, remarking that Sakura's somehow gotten better with her jutsu execution. While the party's been traveling in one direction with her clone, real Sakura has been heading to the Kage Summit alone. Now forced to travel light, Kakashi and Naruto head to Sakura while the rest keep going home. Alone for once, Sakura meets Sasuke on the bridge with Karin laying in a heap at his feet. She smiles at him, but he looks blankly back. Something's different about him now. She asks him who the girl is, and without looking down at her, he says, "Your replacement." She asks if she can come closer to heal her, but Sasuke remains silent. Sakura tells him she was looking forward to a round 2, but he looks like a wreck, all the while walking closer to him. He tells her that his days of fun and games are at an end. Sakura loses her smile now. She asks him where he intends on going next, and he says the leaf, to burn it to the ground. He tells her if she really wishes to stand in his way, he'll have to kill her. She tells him that their home's been destroyed already, reaching Karin and looking down at her, keeping Sasuke in view. Sasuke says if she's still standing, that means they're survivors. She asks him again if there's any chance she can have a round 2, removing her traveling cloak and laying it over Karin. She tells him she hasn't had so much fun with a fight since then. He says if she was really playing with him at that point in time, then she might actually be a worthy opponent now. When Sakura reaches a hand towards Karin, Sasuke whirls in place, slicing at her with a Chidori. Suspecting the surprise attack, Sakura catches his hand, absorbing most of the blow but also taking a bit of damage as well. She doesn't even wince, keeping her grip on his hand. He twists and pulls, trying to escape her grasp, but she's rooted herself to the ground with chakra. He's not going anywhere. Sasuke taunts her, asking her why she isn't healing Karin. Without blinking, Sakura tells him she is. Another hand behind her back, Sakura has been doing some mid-range healing with her last special kunai. Face turning to fury for a moment, insulted that she's not focusing her all on him, Sasuke pulls his blade and swipes at her. Remember, Sasuke's friggin' exhausted here. Sakura's talented and he's just on his last legs as far as stamina goes. Pulling a normal kunai out, she parries the strike, and though it's harder, maintains healing by imparting chakra from her body. Where Kabuto has developed a way to heal at range, Sakura has figured out how to heal from her body without the need of locking her hands for the purpose. She tells him that he's been underestimating her for far too long. Sakura can feel chakra climbing up his blade as it bristles with electricity, forcing her to release his other hand so she can disarm him of his sword, but he dodges away before she can do so. Her focus breaks on Karin as a weird skeletal ribcage forms around Sasuke's body. Leaping forward, she punches it and shatters several of the ribs. Shocked by her power, Sasuke leaps off the bridge and into the river below to escape her. He yells at her about how little she knows about the village and how its evil betrayed the Uchiha. Landing on the water's surface with him, she watches as the ribcage repairs itself and fully forms into a strange, ghostly avatar. She tells him that she would love to hear all about it, revealing that she's also learned about Itachi's betrayal of the Uchiha. He tells her that she doesn't know anything as the avatar cranks up a great spear and launches it at her. She barely dodges it, shocked that it was an arrow, not a spear. He steps forward but stumbles, and the great ghostly form of Susanoo degrades into a simple ribcage again. Sakura takes advantage, closing the distance, punching through the ribs again, and pinning him against the walls of the bridge. Her voice shakes now as she tells him, I could kill you right now. But I don't want to. Please, Sasuke. Before she finishes, he's stolen a kunai from her bag and swipes it at her. She ducks out of its way and jumps back. On either side of the wall behind Sasuke, Naruto and Kakashi enter the fray. Sharingan already brandished, Kakashi closes the distance for some technical taijutsu. Kakashi notices straight away that Sasuke is less interested in fighting him and more interested in taking out his Sharingan eye. After a flurry of stabbing strikes, Kakashi decides to take a defensive stance. While they're clashing, both notice Naruto running in with the Rasengan. Kakashi steps away to avoid being caught in the strike, and Sasuke meets it with a Chidori. After their second clash in 3 years, Naruto tells Sasuke that they're bound to kill each other and challenges Sasuke to save his hatred for that one purpose. Sakura tells them that she'll save them both from death just so she can knock the living daylights out of both of them. Before Tobi steals Sasuke away, Sakura tells him that the next time they meet, she won't let some coward in a mask stop her from taking him home, and with all the force that is available to her. I just want to add in that Sakura is extremely faithful to her teacher. I don't want her to keep the Byakugo sealed out of some urge to hype it up. Rather, she knows how important it is to make the seal as fueled as possible so that if she should release it, she can later seal it without having lost all its reserves. Back at the village, the Konoha 11 confront Naruto and Sakura on their decision. Naruto tells everyone to take a step back, that he'll handle Sasuke. After a harsh elbow to the ribs from Sakura, he amends it to him and Sakura will handle Sasuke. Tsunade wakes, saving Kakashi from an early Hokage appointment. Sakura is one of the first to see her, and since Tsunade has been out for a while, the last thing she remembers is Sakura vanishing after Pain's attack. She reprimands Sakura for being so reckless, reminding her that she could very well be the future of the village. This floors Sakura. Though obviously not a nomination, the suggestion that she could be Hokage herself one day is the grandest compliment she could have ever expected from Tsunade. She reassures Tsunade that she has yet to open her seal, but that it has grown very strong in the last few months. Tsunade knows this. She's no fool. Just as Naruto is a Jinchuriki and potentially great weapon for Konoha, Sakura's unique set of skills could potentially raise her to a yet more powerful weapon. But this is the plannings of a Hokage, not shared with Sakura. And it's not meant to paint Tsunade in a bad light, as if she's using Sakura for her potential. Rather, it's to highlight just how valuable Sakura has become to the village's future. Tsunade knows full well that if Sakura had released her Byakugo seal during Pain's attack instead of Tsunade, Sakura would still have plenty of chakra to spare at the fight's conclusion, while Tsunade would have still been at full power, and the Danzo fiasco could have been entirely avoided. It's a mix of both stubbornness and planning for the future. Tsunade has been given the information on the Ninja Alliance already. She knows that once this war has come to an end, the village's strength could be significantly diminished. Always a step ahead, Tsunade needs to be. And the rest is canon. This concludes 2 action-packed arcs. For me, from the start of the Akatsuki suppression arc to the end of the Kage Summit arc is peak Naruto, so it was really fun adding my flavor to these sections. I didn't want Sakura to break the rules, and I thought giving her interest in mixing chakra natures now would give a lot more flexibility in the future for other developments. And of course, when I say break the rules, I couldn't very well have her overpowering the Tendo Pain or incapacitating Sasuke, because as I've said before, that's not the intent of my rewrite. I need to remain true to my original purpose in this rewrite, or things could get crazy and nonsensical fast. Coming up is, I guess, the 4th Ninja War. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be separating up this next arc. Luckily, it involves so many characters that Sakura's role will probably be pretty small until the very end. I also have to reread that portion of the manga because it's a blurry memory for me right now. There were several moments where I thought about breaking open the Byakugo seal, but I want to emphasize again that she's been storing way more chakra in my rewrite than she ever did in canon. As such, there's going to be a lot I can do with that supply. And then there's talk of the future. When I finish this all up, does anyone want me to do other rewrites? There's other anime stuff I want to do, not rewrites particularly, but content I can cover nonetheless. My writing style should be pretty clear here in this rewrite, so let me know what you'd like to see. I'm a huge fan of what ifs. Another idea I've been working on is having a video that simply features what ifs that could fuel various rewrites. After all, the sky's the limit.